This magnificent yacht behind me here, this absolute thing of beauty, frankly, is a Fleming 85. I've been on a few Flemings. They are always spectacular, but this is the big boy. This is just amazing. And actually, it's a really interesting one to have a look at because there's been a huge amount of customization on this one, and I'm going to switch my phone to silent. You'd think I'd learn, wouldn't you? So it's very interesting to talk about what the owner has chosen in terms of not just specification but also layout. And there's another interesting thing about this boat, because if we come right round to the aft end, you'll see that the name is Freja. And that might not mean anything to you unless you've seen the YouTube channel Cruising Freja, because that is done on this boat. The owner has a YouTube channel and he's charting his journey with this incredible machine. So if you want to see what this boat is actually doing in real life, that's the place to go and see it. Now we're going to step on here through this side door. This has got the California deck, so you've got this working deck that goes all the way around the back here. The bathing platform then is behind that, but it just means you've got a completely uncluttered working area, which is absolutely fantastic. You've also got things like docking stations. There's one on either side, so you can maneuver the boat from here, and then your steps are up, and then this is your cockpit area, which is kept completely separate. Any water that's going down the outside misses this completely. That's very good. This is just a shade here, so the sun at the minute is coming around the back of the boat. It's not very sunny as we speak, but that's what it does, and that's why they've got that up there, just to give a bit of shade. Maggie's beaten us to it again. And then this is the cockpit area. We've got a few people about. We're going to head on in first of all, try and get ahead of the curve. We might see them as we go around. But yeah, this is an interesting one. This is worth seeing. We've got a little bar area out here with the sink and the fridge underneath. There's access there up to the flybridge, but there's another access which I'm going to show you. And access here is down to the crew area, and the engine space again will do all that. But I'll take you inside first of all. Now this is again very much owner specification. Normally they have a teak and holly floor. This owner's gone for a lighter, brighter, more contemporary floor, and it doesn't end there, because you'll notice that the grain on this is a horizontal grain rather than the vertical grain that they normally have, and in fact it's done away with a lot of the detailing that goes around here and kept this really clean and sharp. And like I say, it's all owner specification, that, but there's much more to it than that, and we'll come to that as we go on a bit further through the boat. There's a TV that rises out of here, again owner spec to have this like this. Some owners would rather have a sofa down here, some might do the dinette a little bit different. It's a very blank canvas when you get to this quality of boat and this size. This owner's gone for the wine cooler here, more storage down here, and then this is, well, as you can tell for yourself, the galley area. This is in the normal place for these, but again, it's got some lovely funky lighting in it. It just lifts it all, just makes it a bit lighter and brighter and more modern. You know, because these Flemings are superb boats, but they are traditional boats. And this has just been lifted a little bit out of that traditionality. Is that a word? It is now. Stop opening drawers. There is a dishwasher, that's in here, Miele. And then of course we've got the sink, we've got the cooking over here, there's a microwave up here as well, and then a lot of refrigeration. Of course it is a long distance boat, so you've got the fridges here like this, you've got the huge freezer drawers down here, all this kind of stuff. You want a lot of cold storage in a boat like this, and you've got it. And pantry areas like so. Now this is where it gets interesting, because as standard, this doesn't exist. This takes us down as a private entrance to the owner's cabin. The standard layout brings you back to the owner's cabin from the forward accommodation. So that is the first big change that we're going to see as we move around this boat. And in fact, it goes further than that. These doors obviously will close this area off, because this entire bulkhead was moved that way. And the reason for this is because this is mostly run with just a couple on board, and they have friends and family that come and stay with them. They do a lot of extensive cruising on this boat. It's a seriously used boat. And so they wanted to make this area as big and comfortable as possible, and that's exactly what they have done. So yes, I will explain the implications of that bulkhead, because clearly if you take more space for this area, you're going to lose it further up, and I'll show you how that manifests itself when we go further around the boat. But it's actually quite cleverly done, and you don't really feel it like you might expect. There is a load of storage around here. I'm not going to open it because it is full of the owner's gear. This is a boat that is very much in use. It's being lent to Fleming for the boat show, and so, you know, all the owner's gear is still on board. I'm not going to start delving into wardrobes and drawers and so forth in the owner's cabin. Loo is in there, and then we've got shower. Oh, sorry, madam. I'm only kidding. On this side, thusly, and these big hull windows that screw tightly shut as well. It's all very proper, isn't it? Blinds, of course, that come down over these. But yeah, that is a really big cabin. I mean, it's a big boat. It ought to have a big cabin, but it is bigger than standard. As I say, that bulkhead would normally be, I guess, sort of across here more, but it's all been shifted back. Creates more storage, just creates a much more luxurious cabin. And since it is mostly the couple who own the boat who are on it, that works for them. Forward again, we've got doors that come across here. They're quite discreet, but they actually hinge out like this. So if you want to close the wheelhouse off at night, if you're cruising at night and want to keep the back all lit up but have this in darkness, that is how you would do that. And the day heads is here as well. That's inside this one, like so. And then we have access directly out onto the side decks on both sides. Look at these hinges. The metalwork and the quality that goes into these is just fantastic. We'll take a walk around the decks, of course, but I want to show you the rest of the interior first. So again, owner spec. The way that this is all laid out across here was very much to owner choice. The double helm seat here, normally you get two individual chairs. They wanted to have this chair like this, and then we've got the bonning system that controls the entire boat. Again, I'm not going to start playing with that. It does tell me the engine controls, bow and stern thruster controls. There's the joystick which links all of this up, so you can joystick control the boat, and that of course is also done from those docking stations that we saw. And then a load of screens for navigation, engine instrumentation, whatever else. I say the operating system is that one just there. That is spectacular, isn't it? And then we've got this rather nice area here for people to come and enjoy the ride. There is, I think that is the boat there. I'm getting reflections, aren't I? There we are. Worth having a look on the channel, because they are really adventuring with this one. And they've got big plans. In fact, I was talking to them earlier. It was really nice. It was great to see them. And they'd heard of me. It's always nice to look at the way this is stitched along here. Oh, lovely. So if we head down here, okay, so the first thing we've got is the distribution panel. That's here. And again, it's very Fleming with backups on backups everywhere. So you've got a lot of control of the systems of the boat. Generator controls are here. The battery master controls are across here. Big league. It's all very big league. Let's press on down. Now they do this as a 4-cabin or a 3-cabin layout. This one's a 3-cabin, and here is where you would normally go back into that owner's cabin. But as I say, on this one it doesn't, and what they've done is brought everything forward. So this bulkhead here is further forward than it would be if they hadn't got that modification. And what that's done is moved everything forward so that the heads here, and this is really the only area of compromise, it has the one heads that's shared between the bow cabin and this cabin rather than 2 heads. If this was moved further back, it would bring this all back and create space for 2 separate heads, so each has its own ensuite. But talking to the owner earlier, he was saying, you know, we have family on board. If they can't manage to share heads between them, they probably don't deserve to be on here. So that works for them, and as I say, it's what gives that fabulous owner's suite that's private at the back of the boat that we saw first of all. So, you know, it's the same old thing with boats. If you want to take the space from there, or if you want to, sorry, I'll rephrase that. If you want to add the space to there, you've got to take it from up here. That's where it's taken from. but it works. There is laundry facilities in here, so this one opens and then slides away like so, and you've got the washer and the dryer right there. In fact, I'm going to go further and say I think that is a pair of washer dryers. I think that's what's going on there. I'm not an expert. You'd be shocked to know. And then we've got this area here as well for housekeeping and so forth. The forward cabin then is up here. And again, this is all just brought forward a little bit. So this is a bit smaller, but it's an 85-foot boat. There's still plenty of space here. We've got the hatch overhead, and that's the access into that heads compartment that we saw through from there. So yeah, it doesn't feel compromised, has to be said. Still a load of storage here. He says, hang on, oh, there we go. Yeah, this kind of thing. This is not in use, so we can look in here. It's all beautifully made and beautifully lit. It's a quality item, this, and it absolutely feels it. It's rock solid. Now I want to show you another very interesting area while we're in this section of the boat, because if we have a look in here, you'll see there's a cutout in the carpet. And the reason for that is this. This is the standard flooring, incidentally, which is what we don't have in the saloon because they've chosen something different, but the standard would be like this, which is what's under the carpets in here. But yeah, check this out. This is fabulous. So this is basically an engineering space, and the idea of this is to have everything that you don't want in the engine room where there is salt air, because the engine vents are pulling in air from outside, you're out at sea, you're in a salty environment. And so anything you want to make absolutely sure is not in that environment, well then that lives in here. Look at this. This is fantastic. So all of the, I think I'm right in saying lithium batteries are down here. Water maker is down here as well. It's over on this side. And the other thing to mention is this whole area is air conditioned. That's what this one here is. It's beautifully chilled down here. I quite fancy staying down here for 5 minutes and cooling down. It's a hot day down in the south of France. We've got the inverters across the back here. The idea of this is that a lot of the systems can be run with the generator off. So there is, I think I'm right in saying, a lot of solar panels across the top. Of course, when they're running the engines, when they're cruising during the day, that's charging the batteries as well. And when you stop in the evening, well then this powers all your hotel loads. The inverters give you the mains power from those. You don't need to be firing up your generator when you're in a nice, quiet, peaceful anchorage. But yeah, what a space this is, isn't it? This is fantastic. And in fact, you can go forward from here as well. It's a bit full of gear because we're at a boat show, everything's been tucked away. But there is hot water tank, plumbing, pumps, another hot water tank, but also places for suitcases and other things that people bring that you just need somewhere to chuck them out of the way. And chairs, apparently. There we go. So say it's just been put in there because it's a boat show, just to keep everything tidy. Camera system, so these are dotted around the boat, and that's the air conditioning control for this space. That though, that is brilliant, isn't it? That's very, very Fleming, and that's very, very nice. Superb. But even down here, the quality of the steps, the quality of the woodwork, just brilliant. So let's close that back down, and all the noise from that disappears, doesn't it? Let's do it the right way around, then I can close it. That is virtually silent. You'd think having that underneath there, you'd hear it, but you can't. Let's press on. So that is the lower deck. Let's go round and up. So this is taking us from the pilot house straight up to the flybridge and the boat deck. Again, we've got the double seat here. That's a Stid seat. It's all top quality stuff on here. And then again, owner spec in terms of screens. So we've got Fruno on this boat, for example. The MAN displays for the engines are here. Autopilot, communications, all of that kind of stuff is all here. And again, engine controls, thrusters, and a nice substantial stainless steel wheel. And then out across the front, you've got this lovely view. Starlink is up there as well. And that is your flybridge. What's interesting as well, and again it goes back to how this boat is used, the fact that it's a serious owner and a seriously used boat, is things like docking stations right here on the outside of the boat. So when you're manoeuvring it in, you can stand here and control the whole boat from here, or on the other side you can do it from there. So you've got a helm here, a helm in the wheelhouse, docking station here, docking station there. We saw 2 more docking stations on the back. How many is that? 2, 4, 6. There's another one there. 7 docking stations. How cool is that? And then the tender is here. The tender, the owner was saying, is quite simply the biggest they could put on the boat. And that's a really good size. Because as he says, there's always been that time when you think, oh, if only the tender was a little bit bigger. Well, not here. And that crane, I think I'm right in saying, from memory serves me correctly, will lift a metric ton. That is as substantial as everything else on the boat. That's fantastic, isn't it? What a machine this is. I love this. Let's carry on around a bit further. Life raft is up here. That's the access that we saw from the aft cockpit. And this is the docking station here on the back of the boat. There's a grill up here, there's the sink up here. And again, this stuff gets used. This is a proper boat owner doing proper boating. We've got ice maker, we've got refrigeration. Fantastic. That, I'm using the word proper a lot again on this boat, but I think with absolute due justification. It's fantastic. Look at the stainless steel work around here. If you're looking for maximum volume for your money, you're not buying this. If you're looking for maximum quality and strength and ability, this is going to be up near the top of your list, that's for sure. Day heads we saw, that's in there. We're going to go out this side now. We've got side doors on here as well for access from alongside a quay. And then around here we've got the Portuguese bridge. So this goes around here, there's storage all the way around here, and then these doors open or close. You can see there's one on that side as well, which is closed. This brings us up onto the bow. Again, substantial cleats, substantial fair leads. Everything's built to last, everything's built to be used. This is nice. This is like a clamshell seat up here, so this will just drop down flat. You can see how that will close over. You want some big cushions on here, of course you can have it. That's the hatch that's over the forward cabin, and then there are twin massive ultra anchors up here right on the bow. You've got the twin capstans, and we've got, yeah, some serious anchoring ability there. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Taken with this, I am. Really taken. Okay, we need to go look at the crew area. We need to look at the engine space. It's as relevant as everything else on the boat. I think what we'll do, we can go down this side to the cockpit, but we'll go this way. These are prisms. These channel light down into the interior. That's what's going on there. It's neat, isn't it? And if we go around this side, again, you've got the side door. This is the door out from the wheelhouse. And then you've got the rail down here. Again, it's all designed to be practical. Look at this. Look at the quality of this. Engine vents are here. And then we can come right on around and back. And we'll head down into that crew space and engine space. Now again, this is, you can see how this closes down across here, but this is very much owner specification, and it is designed very much around how they use the boat. They plan to keep this boat for like 20 years and cover serious ground, so they had it built specifically to their own requirements. And they cruise, I think I'm right in saying, just with maybe 1 or 2 crew. And so what they've opted for is to have the double cabin here as a captain's cabin, and then a separate mess area back here as well. Now the standard layout gives you a cabin here, the head's in the centre, and then a mess area tucked into this corner over here. What they've done is obviously created a bigger captain's cabin, a nicer mess area, but they've lost a cabin that they wouldn't have used anyway as a result. If we have a look back here, this is the ensuite, of course, for this area. And again, a proper separate shower. If you're spending a lot of time on the boat, you want everybody to be comfortable, and this makes sure that happens. That's taking you through to a lazarette area. It's absolutely crammed full of stuff at the minute, so we can't see anything in there. And it's because it's a boat show and they're literally just moving stuff out of the way so the boat can be easily seen and be as uncluttered as possible. So, but that will get you back to things like the stern gear and so forth. This is a nice, cozy little space, isn't it? You could be very comfortable back here. And then, of course, the engine room. And look how impressive this is. This is the meat of this boat, isn't it? And it absolutely shows. Obviously, engines are important on any boat, but when you're talking about a serious explorer like this one, this is crucial, that you can get to everything, that it's well lit, you can monitor stuff well, and that's what this does. Look at these engines, they're beasts, aren't they? This is the stabilizers, or the inside of the stabilizers. It's got fin stabilizers on this one. We've got pumps here. We've got a generator on the outside there. Fantastic, isn't it? V12 engines, these are mighty. So they are, as I mentioned, MAN V12 diesel engines, and they are 1,550 horsepower each. In fact, for the American market, I think you can upgrade to 1,800, but these are the most common option. And they're giving the boat over 20 knots, which for an explorer like this is good performance. That is ample. And what it means is you can cruise at 10 knots and get 2,000 miles of range. And in fact, you can cruise at 8 knots and get 3,000 miles. People have been transatlantic with these boats. I think sometimes they'll put bladder tanks on as well to increase the capacity, but yeah, people have taken these across the Atlantic. It's that kind of league. You're just not going to do this with a normal production planing boat, but this is what this is all about. I love this fuel management system up here. So there are a port tank and a starboard tank for the fuel, and either will run either engine. And it's so simple because this shows the flow to the engine. So this is port tank to port engine and starboard tank to starboard engine. That is the standard configuration. However, you can switch this through 90 degrees, so that goes up to there, that comes down to here, then you've got starboard tank to port engine. You can do the same with this. You can switch it across port tank to starboard engine. You might wonder why you might want to do that. Well, it means you can run both engines off of one tank. And if you had a fuel problem in one tank, it means that you can, of course, therefore, isolate the problem tank. And then beyond that, there's a fuel polishing system which will do a couple of things. It will pump the fuel. In fact, I'm walking away from it. It's back here. I was thinking it was in the rear bulkhead. I think I'm right in saying this is it here. And it means that you can pump fuel from side to side, but you can polish the fuel, which is basically taking out impurities. It has a centrifuge, it spins the fuel, sucks out all the impurities, and puts clean diesel across from one tank to the other. So it allows you to clean the fuel in situ and underway. And in fact, the primary filters are down here, and these are switchable too. So you run on this filter here. If you had a blockage, you can simply swap that across to this one, and then you can deal with this blockage, change the filter, do whatever you need to do whilst it's running on this one, and then that's all clean and ready to go. So it's redundancy, it's backup, and that's what's going on there. And then back here, there is these reverso chaps here are oil change facilities there for the engine and for the gearbox. Look how substantial this engineering is, these engine beds and engine feet. It's a conventional shaft drive, but look at the size of the shaft. That's fantastic. So yeah, nice simple engineering. Air conditioning is racked out across here. This is hydraulics on this side. But all very get-atable, all very, very impressive. Look at the tools up here. You know, this is one of those boats I come on, I don't really want to get off again. I could be very, very comfortable with this. Very comfortable. However, the time has come. Let's head back out, back through the crew area. But it is interesting the amount of customization way beyond the normal kind of options that you would have to literally reshape complete parts of the boat. Like this is a completely different layout to standard. That separate entrance to the owner's cabin, completely different to standard, and so forth. Oh, there's a boat manoeuvring. Look at that. Remarkable. How's he going? Very nice time doing it. Let's head back up to the bow. So if we head up this side, I think we'll have covered the whole thing, won't we? That has been fascinating. I've really enjoyed looking around that boat. I hope you've enjoyed looking around it with me. And if we come right up forward, we will, as traditional, finish on the bow. I am going to say massive thanks to the guys from Cruising Freja, the YouTube channel. Check that one out. I'll put a link in the description. Huge thanks to you for watching. Let me know what you think of that one, but I think that's pretty darn special. Catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.